Good morning and welcome to a stormy day in the Lake District. We're just about to head off green laning in the new KGM Musso, formerly SsangYong. And yes, there are a few changes. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planetauto.
Certainly off the beaten track today, and we're out here to test the off-road capabilities of the KGM Musso Saracen. We're going to start in 2 high, but we've got 4 high and 4 low in case we need it. And we're going to go up there and we'll see how well the Musso copes. As suspected, we have had some slippage, so I'm going to go into 4 high. It's absolutely being a champion in 4 high. Nice one, Musso.
Well, it cope with that with ease, and if you look at it, it's about a foot tall. So even that nice smart body kit, it doesn't hinder its climbing capabilities. We're now on our green lane, and as you can see behind us, Musso's just come up there 2 high, then 4 high. The thing that really gets me about the KGM Musso is the starting price. You can pick one of these up and it's a 4 cab for around £26,000 excluding that. And you get a 5-year warranty and a decent workhorse that will tow 3.5 tonne and carry a tonne on the bed simultaneously, and it's the only UK pickup that'll do it. That's why you see a lot of stock car owners towing things like stock cars with Rextons, Mussos, because they can carry their car plus all the ancillaries, extra engines, whatever, with ease. The other thing is, they're powerhouses. They've got decent torque, they've got decent off-road capabilities, and they tow for England. I'm going to have to apologise for the wind. Now ours is the Musso Saracen. You can get a Saracen Plus, and that's got a longer bed. Thing is, they've all got the same engine, a 2.2 4-cylinder turbo diesel, but you can get an auto or a manual. We've got the auto, and to be honest, it's pretty damn smooth. You've got 2 high, 4 high and 4 low, but there's no diff locks. It'll cope with most things, and you can get a range of truckman tops, roller covers and all manner of things. Ours is in space black and it's a joy to drive, but you'll see that on the driving section. We may see some pretty treacherous ground, but this will just walk it. You've got decent space under the arches for lots of articulation. Also, the ride height isn't too bad either. The rear diff doesn't hang down too low, and it is ladder chassis, so body on frame, meaning well, it's pretty damn good off-road. Decent pliable suspension. One thing you might not want to do is go green laning with these lovely black alloys. But the thing about a pickup nowadays is it has to encompass lifestyle. Yes, you can tow, you can do, well, most farm tasks, but you can also go on holiday. Heated rear seats, air conditioning, big infotainment system, and in the front you've even got heated and ventilated seats. All in all, the Musso's a damn good pickup, and it's well built. Like, well built. You know, everything is sturdy. I like to test things like this on the pickup because the workhorses. Now, former SsangYong have been making 4x4s for over 50 years, and they've learnt a thing or two. And with KGM moving forward, it's just going to get better and better. We've driven so many of the previous generation, Rextons, Tivolis and Mussos, and they've never skipped a beat. Whilst the wind lulls, let's take a quick look at the front. I do love the styling. When they released a new Musso, I thought, ooh, that's a handsome pickup. The new styling on the grille, and this carbon fibre styly trim. Big deep bumper, very sporty. The thing is, there's no LEDs. That would have been a decent upgrade. But moving forward, I believe we'll get those. Now, it's a fancy looking motor. Also, the bumper's rather deceptive. You think, oh, I'm going to clip that when you start off-roading, and you don't. the approach angle, crossover angle and departure angle may not be as generous as say some other pickups, but it can do extremely well with what it's been given. Wade in depth, they claim around 1/2 metre, but I think it's a touch higher than that because the air intake is rather high on this engine. The other thing is it's very easy to work on, lots of space. You've got cruise control and there's also some safety too. The thing is it won't bing and bong all the time, so that's perfect. Load covers, roof rails, steps. Check out KGM to find out more.
Thanks to the weather, some of it's been washed out up ahead, so we'll stay in 4 high for now, but we've always got a 4 low when we need it. Yet again, 4 high does the job. It just walked out with ease. Nice one, Musso.
Nice substantial tow bar, parking sensors. You've even got a reversing camera. It's very smart. I love these tyres, Bravos by Maxxis. I used to have those on my mountain bike. Now they may be road tyres, but to be honest they cope pretty well off-road too. Well, that's enough Stormisher. We'll finish off this green lane and then we'll head back and have a look at the interior and some of the other features in the orchard. See you there.
Didn't even need to go into 4 low at all. This Musso is a workhorse. Okay, economy's dropped a little, but makes sense, we are off-road. Let's get going.
If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. We're now back at the homestead and the rain seems to have head off too, so that's nice. Climbing, are we? Well, you can stay there. I'm going to take a look inside. No keyless entry, power folding door mirrors. This is a boon, especially for Annabelle. The thing with me is, at 6'3", I can quite literally step in. The door opens nice and wide. It looks a decent opening too. Yeah, nice and solid. Speaker, electric windows, and a decent sized door pocket. Also, doors that cover the sills. Awesome. Nicely constructed. Lovely padded area here. And you can override your power folding door mirrors. The thing is, I have needed that a few times, especially on the B roads around here. Climbing in, absolutely no problem. I do have to duck my head a little bit, but apart from that, nice and easy. And I didn't need to use the step. The thing is, it's a great addition, especially say when you're the height of Annabelle. Just makes climbing in, especially with this, a little easier. No grab handle here. That seems a strange omission. Both front seats are electric, electronic lumbar, and I've got height adjustment. That's better. Grab handles, solid, nice to see, and it has changed quite a bit. Well, it's certainly far more modern. For a start, you've got a screen here. It used to be integrated. Also, this is all digital. The thing is, there's no longer rotaries or proper buttons. I tell a lie. You've still got buttons for the heated seats. And remember, the ventilating too. It's one of those that you can just jump in and go on a 700-800 mile jaunt. Great to see a good old school handbrake too. Essential for off-roading. Well, in my eyes anyway. We can adjust the headlamp height, perfect for towing. And as I've mentioned before, this will tow 3.5 tons. Also, you can disable your parking sensors. Now that's a pretty good feature, especially when you're green laning, because otherwise you'll just hear beep, 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 beep. Great to see that you've got descent control. Solid. Nice. You're also met with a Musso that flashes its lights at you. Nice touch. Immediately I can see that that passenger door's open. When you've got something like a pickup, it's always good to know that all the doors are solidly shut, especially if you're going to start embarking on an off-road mission. It's certainly changed since the previous gen. It's far more streamlined, modern, nice perforated material here. Start stop button, and this is all digital, and you can sync the climate control. And you've got an on and an off here, so that's for your fan, and then the speed here. The rest of it is all on this panel. Thing is, it's nice and straightforward, and I do like the digital readout. I do miss rotaries and proper buttons, but it's not really a deal breaker. Heated and ventilated seats, decent storage area. It would have been nice to see a wireless charger. The likelihood is we'll see that in the next KGM Musso. Auto gearbox and drive modes. Eco, power and winter. And power does transform it, but you'll see that in the driving section. Old school handbrake, and it's very easy to select your off-road system. So, 2 high, 4 high and 4 low. And when we were doing our green laning yesterday, it's amazing what 4 high can offer. Decent cup holders, perfect for a microphone and a hat. And overall, it just feels, well, substantial. Everything's nice and solid. 12 volt here, USBs, and I do like the new design. It's got great flow to it. The one thing is, it is a bit dark. It'd be nice if you could have a lighter interior, but that seems to be a trend with vehicles moving forward. Decent sized windscreen. Look at the depth of these. This is hard. The thing about a pickup is, it needs to be robust. It needs to be well built. The more soft touches you get, well, the more workmen can basically mess it up, tear it, etc. So they've done what needs to be done, and it offers, well, a rather premium pickup. Glove box, lockable, essential on a work vehicle. Comfortable buckety seats, perforated material, and they're rather supportive. I must have driven this 200 to 300 miles now, doing various treks up and down the Lake District and through Lancashire, and I always get out feeling refreshed. That's the thing, it is a comfortable seat. Mind you, we can attest to that, because the last time we had one of these, I think we did a 600-mile round trip, and it never skipped a beat. But Musso generally doesn't. Look at the size of the armrest. Easily wide enough for you and your passenger, and underneath, decent storage, like that. Reach and rake adjustment in the steering wheel, and there's a fair bit. That's nice to see. I've got a footrest on the left, and because it's an automatic, 2 pedals, but you can get a manual. Headroom. What's that? About 2 inch? Perfect. No, it's a great driving position, and it's a joy to drive. Infotainment system, I do like the new look. I mean, it does jut out, but it's just easy to reach. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, satellite navigation, but when you start going into things like the digital radio, it's responsive, quick, and decent sound, as rudimental a test. To the cluster, brand new, all digital. On the left hand side, it shows you what gear you're in. On the right hand side, you've got your speedo. Center, you can change. Currently it's telling me my MPG, 23 miles per gallon. Shouldn't be a problem to see 28 to 30. And when towing, I think that dropped to around 27. So I think that's pretty good, especially when it was a car and a car trailer. It's nice and straightforward to see all the information that you need. No auto dimming mirror, but you do have little map reading lights. Let's take a look in the rear. I almost forgot. You can change your cluster layout here, and you've got cruise control. It's not adaptive though. Well, you can see from the muddy grooves, we've got pretty damn wide tyres. Now, they may be road tyres, but even when we went off-roading yesterday, they cope with a heck of a lot. And I really do like the black alloys. Yeah, if you're going to go off-roading, it's maybe better to get a set of Steelies too. But they really make this look the part. Decent ride height, and I do like these arch extensions. Just give you a little bit of protection, just in case you have to glance off something. Let's take a look in the rear. The door opens relatively wide, for the rear of a pickup especially, because it is limited to that centre pillar. But this, decent access. Another padded area, normally on a rear door. They're slimmed down a fair bit, but that, it rivals some front doors. Before I climb into the back, I've just realised I had way too much legroom. This is perfect for me. Because it's an automatic, I don't have to be moving my feet around for the clutch either. Now with that slight change, it'll be interesting to see how much it increases room in the rear. Looks like it'll be nice and easy to climb into, and I do have the step if I do need it, but to be honest, no. Like most pickups, I can just step in. Nice, decent legroom, and even with this seat on the floor, I can still get my feet under it. The one thing a lot of pickups suffer from is the rear backrest being far too upright, whereas this, it's quite relaxed. We'll pull up the headrest. Now, I could travel many miles in the rear of this, especially with my heated rear seat. You still don't see that in many cars. Grab handle here and proper handle here for off-roading, etc. It's well set up. Now it is a touch dark in here, but bear in mind it is a dark and dismal day. Look at the size of the windows. Once again, they let a lot of light in. You do have the privacy glass, but with the light coming in from there, and yeah, not the rear because it's a pickup. But as far as room goes, it's pretty good. We've even got pull-down armrests too, with 2 cup holders. They're comfortable, supportive seats, and they're finished the same as the front. Headroom, well, it's 6'3". What's that, about an inch? I've got a woolly hat. No problem whatsoever. I'm gonna have to really get some of this mud out here. You can tell we weren't mountain biking. That's the other thing, it's nice and easy to clean. Just run a wipe over it, or even your hand, and most of it comes off. This is a great addition too. It's like a giant car mat. And look, reduced transmission tunnel. It also means it's really easy to clean, because you can just lift out this, brush it off, and put it back in. The rear seat bench is raised up, so I've got a great view out the windscreen. And look, centre rear lights, and they do dim. Great to see there's adjustable seat belts in the front, and it would have been nice to see some USBs or a 12 volt, because there is space. Maybe we'll see that on the next model. The thing is, you do have some vents, so it does pump some decent heat into the rear of here. And we finish off with mat pockets, airbags around the vehicle, and ISOFIX points. Let's take a look at the rear. Almost forgot. I can pull this forward, and this drops down. I can add things like a number plate, and there's some tools there too. There's also a stowing area under the seats. Now this looks a beast from any angle, especially in space black. And I think there's 5 other colours, and they're all equally as striking, which is nice for a pickup, especially when it's got such a lifestyle feel to it. Oh no! So yeah, it's actually soft closing. We've got the roller top cover, so this is an option. Tethering points. We've also got a tub in the back of here, which means it's nice and easy to clean out, and it means it doesn't damage any of the pickup. Also, this is a nice addition, like a rubber mat, so when we had the mountain bikes in, they didn't slide around. Perfect. Now if you're thinking, I don't know if that bed's going to really cut it, don't worry, you could get Saracen Plus. The other thing is, it seems to have some kind of strut in it, meaning there's very little weight when you're closing it. Chunky rear bumper, parking sensors, and a reversing camera, and a tow bar. One thing I'd like to see on the next model, LED rear lenses. But as far as a pickup that starts at £26,000, you can't go wrong. Let's take a look under the bonnet. Nice and easy to release. One pull, push left. Struts, immense. Old school diesel turbo engine, solid. It has had a few changes, making it more economical. The thing is, it's nice and straightforward to work on too. It's nice to see that the air intake's high up as well, so that's perfect for wading. simple to see where to top up fluids. We've got a nicely insulated battery. Time to get behind the wheel, road and off-road. Morning and welcome behind the wheel of the KGM Musso. Under the bonnet we've got a 4-cylinder 2.2 turbocharged diesel engine, and yes, it is the one that was used in the previous gen. We've also got an automatic gearbox, but you could go for a manual dependent on which trim you go for. Yes, it's body on frame, but to be honest, it's rather refined considering its technology. The thing is, where it really excels is in things like towing and carrying. It corners well, decent nice weighty steering. Also it gives good feedback. It's quite agile. Yeah, it's not got the smallest turning circle, but why would it? It's a pickup. It's got comfortable pliable suspension. The thing is, at the same time, it still offers a rather engaging drive. Yeah, you're not going to be chucking it into corners sideways, but as far as the pickup goes, it's quite a bit of fun. Now you will notice, if there is no load in the back, it can be a little bit jittery. But to be honest, that comes with the territory. It doesn't really compromise ride. When you will notice it, it's pulling out of junctions, you can just feel it. It feels like the previous gen. It's not the most economical, but they never really are pickups. They're getting better and better, but the way I'm driving this, we're getting around, let's have a look, 28 to the gallon. But I have had it as low as about 16. But that's because it's got a power mode. But you also have an eco mode, and that's the mode it starts in. The thing is, you can tell the difference when you put it in, essentially, in sport mode. It does make a heck of a difference. It becomes more lively. The one thing I would change is where this button is, because when I'm in the driving seat, so you have to kind of fumble for it. But that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. This has got halogens. I mean, they're not bad, they're just not as good as LEDs. Safety wise, this is fully loaded, so you've got things like lane keep assist, mitigation systems, collision detection, and it's got a fair bit of overwatch, to be honest. Also, you've got cameras and sensors. As far as the auto goes, it's responsive. You've got 2 high, 4 high and 4 low, but there are no diff locks. I think, yep, you've got descent control too. Even in windy conditions, it stays glued to the road. I suppose there's a fair bit of weight to a pickup. It's got decent sized wheels, wide tyres. The thing is, it's as comfortable on-road as it is off-road. Yeah, it'd be a bit more bouncy off-road, but doing 50 along this A-road, well, it's got pretty damn good road manners. Now we've got cruise control, but it's not adaptive. Pulling onto dual carriageways, you've got decent enough power. It's absolutely no problem. Wind noise, yeah, it's picked up, but to be honest, we're in Storm Isha, and that was 70 miles an hour winds. But if you've noticed, it's staying remarkably straight. I can feel a slight bit of movement, but nothing to really write home about. Which says something that's got a ride height like this. It's staying firm and planted. Nice. When you're towing something like, say, our Mercedes on a car trailer, 9 times out of 10 you won't even know it's there. It just doesn't affect the pull on the engine. And the gearbox deals with it nicely. Nice handling around the roundabout. And yes, there is a bit of body roll. But yet again, that comes with the territory of, generally, it's quite quiet in the cabin. It's only because of the stormy, blustery conditions. Tyre noise, very little. Overall, the Musso, it's practical, it's versatile, it's got a great price, and there's a few trims to choose from. You can also get a long wheelbase, Saracen Plus, which was formerly known as Rhino. It'd be interesting to see where KGM go moving forward, because now they're KGM rather than SsangYong. I think they'll start concentrating more on electric. So, before you know it, might even have an electric pickup on the horizon.